Hi everyone, welcome to Shark AI. This is the second part of Python basics. So, if you have not watched my previous video, please do watch the part 1, and this is the continuation of that. And I have explained many functionalities in part 1 that we are going to use in this video. So, please do watch that video first. So here we will start now with indentation. So what is indentation? So indentation basically refers to the spaces at the beginning of the code. Okay, so as if you write something in the JavaScript, then if you are writing something if else, then you have this curly braces to let you know that from where your if condition is getting started and where it is getting ended. And same thing for if you are writing else, then the same thing for else. So in other languages we have this flexibility, but in the Python we don't have any curly braces. We have to define with the indentations. uh, Suppose if I am writing something like if, and I have some condition, then this is actually my white spaces, and this is actually called the indentation. So basically we are not giving any curly braces here to define from where my if is starting and from where my if is ending. Okay, only just the white spaces defines from where my if is starting and where it is ending. So if I am writing something here like print, okay, and then if I have to come out from the if, and I'll write here the else, and the same way else will also start from here, okay, and it will end here. So anything we are writing here, if else and something x is equals to 10 or something. So here writing if, and this is basically inside the if. So this indentation is letting me know that this is the part of if, and this is the part of else statement, and this is not the part of if and else, this is the continuation part of the code. Okay, so this is actually the indentation. So as we'll go ahead, we'll writing the code, so you will get a more clarity on this, how the indentation works. So if suppose something, if I write like if uh, 5 is greater than 2, print yes. Okay, so now it is printing yes. And suppose if I am not giving this indentation and I'm just trying to execute this, it's saying that expected an indented block. Okay, so this indentation is necessary. It is important for the Python codes, and actually it improves the readability also. So now we'll see the how the comment works in Python. So comment is when the code or the statement is not participating in the code execution, then it is called a comment line. So commented code will not be executed. So how to make the comment? Suppose I have this line, this is comment 1, okay, and I just want to make it comment. Then I'll just put a hash before the statement, and it will make it comment. Okay, and I have a hash, and this is comment 2, and you can see that both the lines are commented. So what is the shortcut of it? So if you if you press the command and the question mark, then you can see that the uh, comment, it is getting uncommented. And if you select the both and press the command plus question mark, you can see that the lines are getting commented. So this is actually the shortcut for making the comment. So multi-line comment you can make by selecting and the command plus question mark. So other way is like whenever we are defining some function, okay, sum, okay, I'm just giving an example. So this is how we define any function, which we will see the later. I'm just showing you the comment part. Okay, and I have to write something in the comment. Okay, so this is the triple double quotes. Inside this we have to, we can write anything here. Okay, so basically when you write or when you do the coding in the industry, you have to define that what this function is stands for. Okay, so this is how we write what this function is stands for. And you can also use the single quotes. Okay, so both works, the single quotes as well as the double quotes. Okay, so if I just show you. Okay, and just giving one, assigning one variable here, x is equals to 10, and as I am executing it, you can see we do not have any error. Okay, because these three lines are commented. So this is how the multi-line comment, you can use this for when you are doing it for the function. You can do like this, and you can also write like hash variable. Okay, so you can also do like this, defining something, and when you want to remember something or may want to make some comments, then you can always do like this. Okay, after the statement you can comment anything. Okay, so now this is how the comment works. So now we are going to talk about the if else statement. So what is the syntax of it? So how do we write is if expression colon and then statement. Okay, and if you have other conditions that we write in elif, the same thing goes here, expression statement. Okay, expression and the statement, and then if nothing works, then we write everything into the else, and here it will be only statement. Okay, so now let's see with some examples that how does it work. So suppose I have to identify a number is a positive number or a negative number. So let's say that I have a positive number x is equals to 10. Okay, and let's see that my first condition, if as it says the expression, so expression x is greater than 0. So as I have explained you in my previous video, that this is the sign for the uh, greater than. Okay, and then colon and then statement. So I'm just printing here positive so that I will know that it is going to the right block. Okay, positive. Okay, and if it is not, that I'm writing only in else, then I'm writing here that print negative. Okay, negative. So let's execute this, and you can see that it's saying that the positive. So how it happened? So since x is equals to 10, so when the control reaches here, it will just compare if 10 is greater than 0. So this condition is getting true. Yeah, 10 is greater than 0, and it is printing here the positive. Okay, let's see that. I am taking another one, that x is equals to -1, and when I executed here, so what happened is just checking -1 is greater than 0. So this is false. Okay, so it is going to this statement, else part. Okay, now else if how it is, uh, L if I'm just checking if x is equals to 0, then print 0. Okay, 0. So let's execute. So this is negative, but when I give the value of x is equals to 0, so now it is printing 0. Okay, so how does it happen? So if x is equals greater than 0, but I have not written here the greater than equals to 0, I have just given greater than 0. So 0 is greater than 0, this is false. It reaches here, it's saying 0 is equals to 0. So this is true, and it is printing 0 here. So it is not going to the else statement. Okay, so as I have also explained the logical operator, so I'll show you that how it works in if else statement. So here we have AND x is less than 10. Okay, so any number between x is greater than 0 and x is less than 10. Okay, so I am taking any number like 5 and it's saying that positive. So it compared x with both the statements. X is greater than 0 and x should be less than 10. Then it is going here. If I will give a number greater than 10, then it's saying that the negative, because this statement 34 is greater than 0. This is true, but this is false. And we have given here and, that means both the conditions should be true. But we have only one condition true, so this is not valid and this is false. So it is going to the this one where it is saying x is equals to 0. So this is also not true. So it is going to the else and it is printing the negative. Okay, so this is how your if else work in Python. Okay, for loop. So what is for loop? So for loop is Python is used to iterate over the sequence. Okay, sequence can be anything like list, tuple, string, or anything. So basically it is used for transforming those entries or to iterate over those entries. So let's see that what is the syntax of it. So for loop is like for the value which is coming and in sequence. Okay, sequence, and here will be your body. So sequence can be anything like sequence, it can be list, dictionary, tuple. So I'm just taking a list like 1 2 3 something. So okay, so this is basically your syntax and what we are doing here. So this sequence will carry these values and one by one. So first time the value 1 will be assigned to this val, this body will be executed. Once it is finished, then the second value will be assigned to the val, this body will be executed, and then third value will be assigned to this val and the body will be executed. So this is how it works. So let's see with several examples how does it work. So suppose I have for let's see that seq is equals to, I'm just taking the very simple example 1 2 and 3. Okay, and I just want to iterate over it. So I'm just taking for, and this val you can give any of the name. So I'm just taking it for I in, and the sequence, so sequence is seq. Okay, let's see what are the values are coming in each iteration of the sequence. So I'm just printing the value of I. Okay, let's execute this. So you can see for the first iteration it is printing 1, second iteration 2, and the third iteration 3. Why? Because I is carrying every time, for each iteration I is carrying one value from the sequence. First time first 1, second time 2, and third time 3. And if we want to do some operations here, like I want to make the sum of it, then let's see that how we can sum. So let's define sum is equals to 0. Okay, and the sum is equals to sum plus I. Okay, and let's print sum. Okay, so you can see here the sum is coming at 6, 3 plus 2 plus 1. So how it happened? So I have defined sum is 0. That means sum has a value 0 and sequence. So the first value 1 is assigned to I. Okay, and this is 0, 0, and this is 0, and this is 1. So 0 plus 1 is equals to 1 assigned to the sum. Next time when the 2 is assigned to I, then 2 came here and 1 we had already. So 1 plus 2, 3. Okay, and when the third iteration happened, it has the value 3. So 3 plus 3, sum is equals to 6. So this is how it is printing the sum is equals to 6. Okay, and let's see in a dictionary that how it works. So suppose I have a dictionary tick is equals to a1 and b is equals to 2. Okay, just let's take a very simple example with the two values. So now I am iterating over this dictionary. So I'm just taking j in dic, okay, and I'm just print the value of j to show you what the values j is carrying when it is iterating over the dictionary. So you can see that j is printing the value a and b. So first time this dic assigned a value a to this j, and second time it assigned the value b to this j. Okay, so I have, as I have already explained in my previous video, that how to access the elements of the dictionary. If you have not watched that video, please watch. So let's say that I am going to use it. So if uh, j is equals to a, or suppose it is equals to b, then print what is the value b has. So I'm just printing the b value. So what is the b value? How to access that? So uh, dic and j, okay, and when you execute this, it is printing the value 2. So this is as I have explained in my previous video, so you can always refer that. So if j is equals to b, so j value b when it is iterating the second time, so b got the value b, j got the value b, and this statement is true. It is going inside this print and going to this dictionary and searching for this j, that is b. So dic of b, and that is we have 2, okay, and this is what it is printing. So this is how it works in the dictionary. One more important thing is uh, uh, let's see that first how it works with the else statement. So suppose if the statement is not true, then how it works. So we can always assign if the loop fails, okay. So no value found, I'm just giving no value found, okay. So suppose here we have b, and suppose if we are assigning a value c, okay, which is not the part of this dictionary, okay. So and I have to give a break statement here, which is a control break statement. I'll just explain. So when I execute it, since c has no value, okay, so it is going to the else statement and printing here no value found, okay, no value found. So this is the way you can always define the else statement in the for loop. Now control break statement. So three control break statements we have: break, continue, continue, and pass. Okay, pass is something like when you are not doing anything with the function or with the loops, then you can always define the pass. Okay, I'm just defining uh, k in dic, okay, and I'm not doing anything, okay, and then I'm just assigning a value called I is equals to 10. Okay, let's see how it behaves. So since we do not have anything in the for loop, okay, so it is giving an error here, expected and intended block, but I don't want to do anything. I mean, later on I just want to work with it, so I can always give a pass. So pass allow us to leave the um, loop blank. Okay, I just want to write something later when I'll get some clarity. Then so how to use that? So you can always use the pass statement here. Okay, and it will not give you a error. Okay, so this is how the pass statement works. Continue. Okay, continue. I will give you an example of this one. So let's see that this is the code we have. So I'm just not printing it something here, I'm just checking. Okay, if I is equals to 2, okay, I don't want to consider this two value, okay, two value when I am doing my sum. Okay, so let's see, if I is equals to 2, continue. Okay, else, okay, let's see, right, else do a sum. Okay, so what will happen, you can see now the sum is coming as 4. Why? Because it is considering 3 and it is considering 1, but it is not considering 2. So how it happened? So first time it iterate over I, okay, it is the value 1, so it compared here I is equals to 2, it is asking I is equals to 2, so it's saying no, I is not equals to 2. So it is going here and adding 1 to the sum. Okay, second time it is going with 2. Okay, it is asking here that I has a value 2, then it is saying yes, I has a value 2. So it is going continue. What it will do, it will return the control to the initial. I mean, it will pass the two entry and it will send the control to the next entry. Okay, so this is the importance of the continue. If you want to execute, if you want to exclude some of the entries, then you can use it with the continue. I just don't want to consider two, so I am just using the continue here. So this will bypass, it will not execute any of the code, and it will go to the initial statement for, and it will start with 3. So next time 3 comes and 3 will be added here. Okay, but if the same thing I do with the break statement, okay, break, okay, so what it will do, now the sum is 1. So continue, what it did was it excluded this 2. Okay, and the for loop uh, for loop executed with the next sequence. But break statement, it will just, if it encounters with the break, it will not execute the further things and it will come out of the loop. Okay, so you can see here that it, for the first record we have the sum value of 1, and the second time when I is equals to 2, it encounters the break statement and it came out and just printed the value of sum. So if it is 3, then it will sum the first two values 2 and 1. When it is encountering 3, it is not summing up the values and just printing the sum value whatever we had. Okay, so these are the three your actually your two control break statements. What we use is break and continue. So break, concluding it like break will come out of the for loop. Okay, whenever it encountered, continue will bypass that record where it is, where we are writing the continue, and go ahead with the next record. So this is the difference. So now we'll see the range function. So a range function is a special function in Python where we can generate a sequence of number using the range function. Okay, so range 10 will generate a number from 0 to 10, and the range syntax is range start, stop, and step size. Okay, so let's see that how it works. So suppose I have to generate the number from 0 to 10, then I'll just write here the range 0 to 10. Okay, and it will not print like this, we have to give it as a list. Okay, so you can see that it is generating from 0 to 9. So actually it doesn't consider this value. Okay, the string value, and it is generating the number from 0 to 9, total 10 values. And when you have to generate 10 also, then go it with the 11, and you can see here that we have 0 to 10 values. Okay, so this is how the range prints. So as the syntax says, if I have to start from 5, okay, and print till 10, so you can see that it is starting from 5, printing till 9. Okay, and if I have to give the step size is 2, then it is just skipping one value and printing. If I will define 3, then it will just first value will be 5 and second value will be 8. If I start it from 0, then it will be 0 3 6 9. So step size is uh, how many steps we want to go ahead in the sequence. So first will be 0, then the third value is 3, then the third value is 6th, and then the third value is 9. So this is how the range prints a value. We'll see now the how the range works in the for loop. So suppose I have a list called li is equals to, I'm just taking some of the uh, strings a, b and c, and I just want to iterate over it using the range function. So for I in range, okay, and uh, range len. So len will basically give you how what is the length of your list. So 1 2 3 items are there, so it will give a range of li will be 3. Okay, uh, len of li will be 3, and when we'll take the range of li, len of li, then it will be range of 3, so it will generate 0 1 and 2. Okay, and based on that we'll try to fetch the elements. So if I have to fetch the element using this, so I'll just write li, and uh, you can see here first time we have 0, so li of 0 is a. Second time I is getting the value 1, so it will be li of 1, that is b, and third time li of 2, that is c. Okay, if you want to see what is the value we are getting, you can also print that, print I. So you can see we have 0, this one is 0, this one is a, this one is 1, b, 2, and c. So this is how we can utilize the range in the for loop. Okay, so now we are going to see the while loop. So this is also like a for loop, but the main difference is uh, while loop we use when we actually don't know how many times we are going to loop a element. Okay, and for loop we execute the number of times we already know. Okay, so the syntax of while loop is while your expression will be here, and then the body. Okay, so this is your while loop syntax. So how it works is, let's say that I have li is equals to, I'm just taking 1 2 uh, let's take it like I is equals to 1. Okay, and while I is less than 5, print, I'm just showing you the values, what are the values coming. I'm just printing I. Okay, and incrementing the value of I. Okay, after the printing I'm just incrementing the values. So let's execute this. Okay, so you can see here it started with 1. So as the syntax says that we have to give the expression, so we are executing the loop as long as this condition is true. Okay, So condition here, first it will take the value 1, so 1 is less than 5, so it is printing the value 1, then incrementing the value by 1, so now the I value is 2, it is going here 2, so 2 is also less than 5 and it is going here. And when the I value is 5, okay, so 5 is less than 5, this is not true, so it is coming out of the loop, the control is coming out of the loop. Okay, so this is how your while loop works. Also you can run it with the else statement. If condition is not true, then you can print or you can do your own things here, that else block. Okay, so you can see that as long as the condition was true, it is going here, and as the condition fails, it is going to the else block. Okay, so this is how the while loop works. So basically when we started, we did not know how many times this loop is going to work, going to loop, okay, or going to iterate. So we have used while here. Okay, so now we are going to see the functions in Python. So what is function? So function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. Okay, you can pass data known as parameters into a function. So let's see by code how we define the function and how we call the function. So suppose this is one function I'm going to use. So what it will do, it, if we are providing any number, it will double it and print the value. So def, I'm just, syntax of it is, we have to start with def, then the name of the function, then argument if you are passing anything. So I'm passing num. Okay, and I'm just printing the num into 2. Okay, so this is how a function is defined. Okay, when I executed this, so now this is available, this function to be called from anywhere. I'm just going to call it double, and I'm just giving as a number as 2, so it will print a number 4. Okay, so this is the argument 2, so this argument got provided here, and then it got doubled and it is printing the value. But suppose sometimes we don't want the value to be printed directly from here, so in that scenarios we have to return these values. So I'm just doing it, return num into 2. Okay, and we have to catch this in from where we are calling. So double num is equals to, so this is one variable where we are going to catch this return value. Okay, and then we are going to print this value, print dou double num. Okay, so I have given 2 and double underscore num, and it is returning as none. Okay, actually we have not executed this block. Okay, whenever we are changing anything into the function, then we have to re-execute it, always remember. So I had not executed this, so it was returning 4 and none because the older version of it was there. So now when I'm executing, so 2 got passed here, 2 into 2 4, it is returning 4 and it is getting stored here in the double sum. When I'm printing the double sum, it is giving me as 4. Okay, so this is the way of working with functions. Okay, and in my advanced Python course, I have explained how to use the args and quarks. So you can refer those videos to know how to pass multiple values into the function, or multiple name value pair into the functions. So that will be really helpful. So now we are going to see the exception handling method in the Python. So let's start. So if I am doing this x1 divided by 0 and I'll execute this, it's saying that 0 division error. Okay, and the message is division by 0. So we know that a number cannot divide by 0, and it will definitely throw an error. So how to handle this? So we have a try. Inside the try, write your method which you feel like it can give you an error, and then in the except write the handling method. So what I'm just showing you, this is a standard error. Okay, 0 division error. So I'm copying this, I'm pasting here as E. Okay, and I'm just printing this E. Okay, so you can see right now it's not giving an error, it's giving me the same message as division by 0, because I have just taken the standard exception and I'm raising it. Okay, so what happened, it went to try, it found this is an exception or this is an error, it is going here and printing it here. So if you don't know what is this, then you can also do this like I'm just copying this one, pasting it here, and just write here exception. Okay, exception as E and print E. So you can see here the same thing we are getting. Okay, the exception what we are getting. Okay, but these are the standard exceptions. Okay, and this we can catch anytime. Okay, second thing is that uh, second, let's see that some other conditions, like I'm just trying to print a value which doesn't exist. Okay, so if suppose normally I try, I'll just try here that print Z, you can see that we are getting an error. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it here and just change it to print Z. Okay, and if I erase this, then it's saying that name Z is not defined. So here we can see that this is a name error. We can also write this standard exception as name error, and we can execute the same message we will be getting. Okay, so this is your try and accept. Now some cases what happens when we are using this try and accept, but after this also we need to execute some of the statements. So what we'll do is there is something called finally. Okay, so if I write here the finally, and I'll write it here like print finally block. Okay, and if I execute this, you can see that name Z is not defined. So that is the message I am getting it here, because we have an error here. So it is not printing Z, it is going here and printing the E message and then printing this. And suppose if G is defined, okay, suppose I have defined here like Z is equals to 10. Okay, so you can see here it is going to the try, the code is successful, it is printing here, but it is not going to accept, and it is going to the finally. So always remember that even your condition is it is going to the try block or the cat except block, it will go definitely to the finally block. Okay, so always remember this, it will either go to the try block or the except block, but it will definitely go to the finally block. Okay, so this is how the exception. Okay, also I have printed here the message as E, but you can also give your custom message. I will just tell you how to do that. Except as E, you don't need to write it here something. Okay, just accept and just write here the division by 0 is not possible. Okay, so this is the way of giving our custom message whenever we have some exceptions. Okay, So this is how the exception handling we do in Python. Now we are going to see how the file handling works in Python. So in Python we can create a file, we can read the file, and then we can append any lines in the Python. So these are comes under the file handling operations. So what is the syntax of it? So syntax, how does it uh, work is f is equals to open the file name and the modes, and these different kind of modes are available, like w. So w is used for uh, creating a file, okay, and if the file exists then it will overwrite the file, okay. R is for read operation, and whatever content we have in the file we can read using the R. A is for appending the new lines into the existing data, and R plus, W plus, and A plus. So R plus to read and write both, W plus is write and read both, and A plus is for append and read both. Okay, so how it works we'll see with several examples. So let's start. I have taken a file is equal, so I'm going to create a file here. So I'm just creating, okay, before that I have to show you that what is my current working directory. So I'm just using the OS is the library which helps for knowing it. So let's see what is my current working directory. So I can write os dot get current working directory cwd. So you can see that my current working directory is user and Chandan Shashwat. Okay, so we can also change this current working directory. I have created a file, created a folder called files. So I'm just going to change it. Chdir is the command, the function we use for changing the directory. So I have to just give here dot slash and files. You can also give here the full path for creating the directory. So now if I check this one, os dot get current working directory, so you can see that it got changed. So you can also give here the full that. Now if you are using the Windows, then C user, username, and then all the paths, and it will change your current working directory. So I have just changed the current working directory from user Chandan Shashwat to user Chandan Shashwat files. So let's create a file here. I'm creating a file called file.txt and opening to the write mode, okay, and I'm just writing 2 lines here. Write, the first line is this is my first line, and the second one is file.write, this is my second line, okay, and I just want to give a line, so just giving it here, not this one, okay. And then it is very important to close the file, so file.close, okay, and I executed this. So let's see what happened to the file. So this is my file, as you can see that it got created. When I open this, it is saying this is my first line, and in the next line it is saying this is my second line, okay. So whatever we wrote, it came here, okay. You can see here this is my first line, and this is for the new line, okay, and this is my second line. If I don't give this one, then everything will be coming in the same line, okay. Now how to read this? So there are two ways to read. We can write with open, write the file name file.txt as file, or any name we can give, and then data is equals to file dot read. Okay, and executed this, and I'm just printing this data. Okay, and you can see that whatever we had in this file.txt, we are getting. This is my first line and this is my second line. Okay, another way is like opening the file is equals to open file.txt, and open this in the read mode, that is R. Okay, as I have explained here that we have three modes: W, R and A. W we used for writing the file, R I am using here for reading the file. Okay, R, and print, let's give this a different name, file underscore R, print file underscore R dot read. Okay, read. So you can see here that it is also reading the same thing. This is my first line and this is my second line. Okay, now let's see that how to override this file.txt with some other thing. So as I told you that if the file already exists and if you try to write something, it will override, and in the same file it will override with the content provided. So I'm just giving one line here. This is the first line. I'm just giving here first new line. Okay, second new line. Okay, and let's execute this. Okay, now let's see what happened to the file. So I'm opening the file, and you can see here it's saying that this is my first new line and this is my second new line. So it has just overwritten the existing file with the new content whatever we provided. So always remember, if the file exists, it will override with the new contents whatever you provide, and if the file doesn't exist, it will create a new file. Okay, and for reading, as I have explained you, we have two ways. One is using this with open this as file, and another one is open file.txt and open in the read mode. Now the third one is another way you can also read, like you have already opened it, so you can play around with this one. Okay, R, and then what generally we do that for each in file. Okay, and just print each, ESH. Okay, file. Okay, okay, actually it's file underscore R. Okay, so you can see here it is printing. This is my first new line, and it is giving a space, and it is giving this is my second new line. Okay, so you know that how this for loop works, as I have explained earlier. So this is what it is happening here. Okay, now how to uh, append some lines into this file. So I'm just opening the file. Let's see that I have just file underscore A. Let's give the different name, and file dot actually open. I'm opening in append mode. Okay, open, and giving the same file name, file dot txt, and then providing it as A, that is append mode. Okay, and I'm appending a line here, file dot write. Okay, file dot write, this is appended line. Okay, let's write it into the new line. So let's see that this n plus this one, this is appended line. And always remember, after writing the file, close the file. So file underscore A dot close. Okay, so execute this as file closed. file underscore a. Okay, file, actually it's file underscore a dot write. Okay, so yeah, as you can see that we have appended the line. Let's see what happens in the text file. So let's close this, open again. Okay, and you can see here that it is saying that this is appended line. Okay, so one line got appended, and it got appended in the new line because slash n uh, uh, we have added before to the new line. So this is how our file operations works in Python. And talking about this r plus, so you can also check that how the r plus works in the same way, but you can also read and write. You can do the both things by using the r plus. W plus you can write and read both, and a plus you can append and read. So this is the complete your file operations in Python. So now we are going to see the OOPS programming in Python. So we will not go in depth. We'll just see whatever required for data science. And as per my experience, I have seen the company do not use much OOPS programming. Most of the company that do using the traditional programmings only. So OOPS, I will just explain whatever I think you should know. Okay, not everything like encapsulations and inheritance and other stuffs, because I have to create another video for that if I'm going explaining. And in the data science we don't really do much oops programmings, because at the training time it doesn't really necessary that you are writing oops or not. And at the prediction also, it when you are writing into the Flask or Django, it depends on you, you are using the oops or not. Sometimes companies say you to write in the oops, then you have to do it, but most of the companies they don't care about all this much. Okay, so let's start with the class. So what is class? So the class is a user defined data structure that binds the data members and method into the single unit. Class is a blueprint of code template for object creation. Using a class, you can create as many as objects as you want. So how we define the class is, so class has basically the attributes and the methods and some initializing methods. Okay, so how we define a class is class name. You can, I'm just defining the user info. Okay, and you can write here the methods or the attributes. Okay, object. An object is an instance of a class. It is collection of attributes and methods. We use the objects of the class to perform action. So object is used to call the classes and we can access their methods and the objects, methods and the attributes. Okay, and what is the method? So a method is a function that belongs to an object. Okay, so we'll see that how the method works. And the constructor is a method that is called when an object is created of a class. So let's see that how this constructor, methods, class and objects works. And this self I will explain when we will be using it. So let's see that I have a class user info, and I am defining a method here called def, and let's see its name is user details. Okay, and self and name and age. Okay, so now here the self comes. Okay, so you can give other name also. The first parameter into the method, it is considered at self. So self parameters is reference to the current instance of the class. Okay, and it is used to access variable that belongs to the class. So this self can access any properties or any variables that belongs to the class. Okay, it does not have to be named self. You can call it whatever you like, but it has to be the first parameter of any function in the class. So first method first parameter will be your self, you can name it anything, and it can access anything in the class. Okay, so how it is like self dot name is equals to name. I will pass this name and age from the object. Self and age is equals to age. Okay, so and I'm just printing here self dot name and self dot age. Okay, so this is the basic class and the methods. I have executed it. Let's create a let's create a object called user, and then user info. Okay, like this. And now this user is actually a object of this class. So what it can do, so if I go to the user and I just give a dot and tab, you can see this user details is automatically coming. That means that this object can access this user details. So I'll just give this user details and name. So I'm giving some name like Tom, and the age is like 30. Okay, and when I execute this, you can see that this object is calling this user details. This user details is the printing the name and the age. Okay, so now suppose this class has a variable called number one. I'm just giving a any random name. So number one is equals to one, and number two is equals to two. Okay, and I just want to print this, then I have to use this self dot number one and self dot number two. Okay, executed this, created this object again, and you can see here the Tom 30 name and age and self dot number one and self dot number two. So as I was saying that using this self you can access any of the variable properties uh, from the class. Okay, so second thing is like to know is constructor. So what is constructor? So as I explained you that the constructor is the method that is called when object is created. So how it is? So constructor is a special method of the class, so you have to define it using the init double underscore and then self, and suppose you want to pass something. Okay, okay, I'm just not giving anything, only the self, and let's say here the print I'm just writing here that constructor. Okay, constructor. So I'm just creating another user underscore r is equals to user info. So I have just created another object that is user underscore r. Okay, let's see what it does to the constructor. So as uh, I created this, you can see it is printing constructor. Okay, it is printing the constructor. Okay, it is printing the constructor. So now let's pass something like self um, info print info. Okay, so when you try to now create this one, actually executed this and user info, so you can see now it is giving an error. It's saying that init missing one required positional argument info. Okay, so this info we will have to pass here. Okay, my name. Okay, and when I give this, it is printing the my name. So this is basically used if you want to create something, when you want to pass something, when you are creating a class, like you want to set the username and password once the object is created. So in that scenarios constructor are basically used. So You have also seen how we have used this self. Okay. uh, you can always uh, call this self. If you want to use this self, then you can use here self dot, and I'll give here name, but name will not work because we are not calling it. But self dot number one. Okay, self dot number one. So you can see that it is coming as name one. Okay, so uh, this is what you should know in the class and the objects. You should only know these things for the data science.